Oh, War Thunder. The best of the best army combat simulators. The game that everybody loves to hate. Everybody has a love-hate relationship with this game, and if you tell me that you don't, you're lying. This game makes you want to break something. At some point, every player has wished to break something over War Thunder. Which then leads to the topic of this video. So, you want to get better at War Thunder, do you? Well, strap in, because this is going to be the simplest crash course you'll find on YouTube on how to dominate the skies in War Thunder. This is for low BR, by the way, since I'm not that high rated. The first mandatory tip for getting better at aviation is by going into your settings and adjusting your gun convergence. This dictates when your bullets from your wing guns will cross over with your mainline guns. Or in other words, when your bullets actually make it to that little dot that normally leads ahead of the enemy. In arcade mode, I have my gun convergence set to 400 meters because I like close combat diving runs. However, 600 is most effective for new and unexperienced players who want to get directly into dogfighting and tearing holes through people. Next up are the planes you use. Make sure that if you are one of those people who want to dogfight constantly, that you pick planes that turn quickly. Or in other words, a fighter. Don't be trying to dogfight with a bomber. That will not end well for you. And then that brings you back to what I was saying, where you'd want to break something. Additionally, the bigger gun you have, the better, but I assume that goes without saying. When a game begins, the first thing you are going to want to do is fly not directly upward, but on an angle so that you start the battle higher than the other planes. This allows you to have more energy to work with and gives you the speed advantage against other players. Once you're above the rest of the players, pick a target. Let's say I want that guy there. I'm going to look at what direction he's flying and dive in that direction. This gives me a massive speed increase, which allows me to turn quicker and gain height faster in case I missed my first shots. Okay, now that you've made it to this phase, you have to aim and shoot. You see the circle leading in front of the plane? It's garbage. Throw it out. Trash. You're going to want to aim slightly in front of this rather than directly on the circle. There is a little variation here depending on how the plane is turning or moving. An example of this is when a plane is broadside to you, it's much easier to hit. The more exposed area on the plane, the quicker and easier the kill. This also applies to the bottom and top of planes, so if you can come up from beneath, example on a bomber, it's much easier to take out. Let's say you miss your first spray of bullets. What should you do? A. Follow directly behind him and try to gun him down. B. Pull up to conserve energy. Or C. Nosedive directly into the ground because you missed. If you chose anything other than C, you'd be correct. Following close behind can give you a really easy kill shot, and pulling up to conserve energy is always a smart play. Bing, bang, boom. You've now taken out your first plane. Congratulations. How does it feel? Good? Well, that's great, but now there's a guy stuck fast to the rear of your plane. What do you do? A. Pull up. B. Oh god. Yep, he's, yeah, you're already dead. Ooh, you probably should have pulled up faster. When someone is stuck to you like glue, there really isn't anything you can do other than pray you are evasive enough to make them lose interest. This is a lot easier said than done. I've had people chase me 16 kilometers away from the battlefield, and they just simply followed me until the game ended. We didn't shoot each other. We just flew off into the sunset, like in the end of cowboy movies. If you have a friend or a teammate with you, it helps out a lot. They can get the guy off you potentially, or maybe they'll switch to them. In that case, you can run away and watch as your friend gets blown up. So, you've died. You respawn back into the game with your second plane. Once again, fly up. Can't stress that enough. If you want easy kills, fly above the enemy to start the battle and they won't see you coming. Lastly, when you finish your game, make sure to upgrade your crew with the XP points you get. Using this crew XP, you can upgrade things like Keen Vision, which allows you to see planes farther away, and G-force tolerance, which makes it so you don't lose control of your plane as often. You can also upgrade things like vitality, where your pilot has a much stronger tolerance to bullets. Fantastic, I know, right? You can also upgrade your defensive armaments, like you can upgrade fire precision, which upgrades your aiming guns. The ones that you control will hit where they're supposed to more often. Same with you can give stamina and vitality to your gunners. Logistics. This is more for realistic battles, but you can upgrade repair speed and reload speed. I couldn't stress that enough. Upgrade reload speed. When you use planes like I do, like the Yak-9, you only have 29 bullets. Once those are out, you cannot fire for a minute. It feels like a century when someone's chasing you down. You just have to survive and pray that you can survive a minute to get your bullets back. These are my tips and tricks on how to get better at aviation in War Thunder. However, there is one more tip, and this one is the best of them all. Subscribe. No, I'm just kidding. It's practice. The more you play, the better you get. Simple as that. I hope this was helpful, and make sure to like and subscribe to not miss an upload. If this video was helpful to you, maybe you should check out some of my other videos, like my advanced tips. Anyways, have a good one. Peace.